In this video, we're gonna look at exactly how we handle fear and uncertainty objections. When prospects tell you, I'm not sure I wanna move forward, I don't know if this is the answer for me, I'm not sure I want to commit to this. These are fear objections, and we're gonna look at exactly how to handle them today. This is Chris Rigoudis. I've closed more than 20 million in high-ticket sales online, and I've closed hundreds and hundreds of fear objections. Let's look at how. So there are 4 stages when it comes to fear objections. The biggest mistake people make when they handle fear objections is they realize that the person is uncertain and they try to push them into buying. That's the biggest mistake ever, because here's what will happen. You will ask something like a commitment question that goes something like, hey Chris, do you feel what I presented can get you to where you want to go? And the person will say, I am not sure. And that's a trap. It is a trap because a lot of people, regardless if they feel that you can help them, they will say, I don't know, because they fear investing in themselves. They fear that they're gonna put in the money and they're going to fail. That's not a value objection, it's a fear objection. So the first step in handling fear objections every single time is talking about the money. And when I say talking about the money, I mean you need to handle the logistics first. Even if they say something like, Chris, I feel that this will help for sure, I just don't want to commit, it's a big commitment for me right now, which is a clear flag for a fear uncertainty objection. I want you to handle money first. And you will say something like this. That's not an issue, I can understand it's a big commitment for you. If you had the money, do you feel I can get you to where you want to go? They will say yes, you will ask them why, and they will say, oh, well, I really feel that this is helpful, you've helped a lot of people like me, but it's a big commitment at this stage. Again, fear objection flags. You will say, I understand it can be a big commitment, how do you feel you can come up with the money to put into this so we can work together? They will say now, if it's a fear objection, they will say, well, I have the money, I just don't want to take the leap yet. Like, I am concerned that I don't want to keep pushing this off, but I am not there to invest in myself and fix this. You will continue. So, if the investment is 9,000, if we were to break it up into something more digestible, would that help you? So it's not as big of a commitment. And if you hear a yes, you've started to decrease the risk required. So at the end of the day, it was a money objection, and you can help them with a downsell. So they can invest, for example, if your product is 9,000, they can invest 3,000 and get started. Now, once you come to an agreement that the 3,000 can work for them, yes, but they say, yes, the 3,000, the downsell, what you have offered me in terms of a payment plan works, but I'm still concerned this won't work for me. That's when we'll move into step number 2, and that's around the cost. But when I say cost, I'm talking about the cost of inaction. I need to make them aware that the cost of inaction, them not taking action, is higher than the cost of action, which is the money. How am I going to be able to do that? I will ask them one question. I will ask them, that's not an issue at all, I can understand it's a big commitment. May I ask, how long have you had that problem? How long have you been trying to generate leads, but you have failed? So I'm gonna go back around what has been their main challenge so far. They can say 3 months. Now I will say, okay, so it's been going on for 3 months. What do you feel you've missed out on in terms of money, time, resources within that time? Now they will say, well, I've missed out on 5,000 a month and I waste 20 hours a week. Perfect. Then can I ask, how much time or how much longer are you okay with losing all these resources, essentially paying the cost of inaction, until you start fixing your problems? Is it 2 months? Is it 4 months? Is it 6 months? So once we make them aware of the cost of inaction, we're going to loop through that question. Another way to ask that is you're going to say something like this, especially when they say, well, it's a big commitment, it's too expensive for me. You will do this reframe. So instead of the too expensive in terms of the money, you will reverse engineer it into the cost of inaction. And you will say, yeah, I understand. It's expensive for sure. Is it more expensive for you to stay living with your current problems month after month? Or is it more expensive to invest in getting help so your challenges go away once and for all? What's more expensive for you? Let's say you go through that loop and they continue. Yes, you're right, it's more expensive for me not to make a change, but it's still a big commitment for me. Like for me, I'm still having uncertainty. I'm not sure if I should do this. We attacked the cost of the past. Now we're going to look at the cost of the future, and we're going to ask a nightmare question. A nightmare question goes something like this. Yeah, I 100% agree that it's a big commitment. But what happens if you don't make these types of commitments and you stay exactly where you are for the next 2, 4, even 6 months? Have you considered the consequences of staying exactly where you are in this point in time? What will happen? And this will increase the internal urgency that they have. So we've dug into the cost of inaction so far, the past pain. Now with nightmare, we're gonna look at future pain and what's going to cost them in the future. Let's say you get rejected again, and they say, I understand what I've lost so far. I understand what I'm going to lose. I still can't get myself to commit. And that's where we're gonna attack their identity. And when I say we're gonna attack their identity, we're not gonna attack the person. We're going to attack their thinking that got them the identity that they have today. And it looks something like this. We will say, yeah, and it makes sense that despite everything that we covered, you're still hesitant. It makes perfect sense to me because you're making decisions based on the place that you are today. Is that right? They're gonna be like, yes, I am, because that's the only right answer. You're gonna say, may I make a suggestion though? If we make decisions and keep making decisions from the place that we are today, what are we always going to get? We're going to get the exact same thing that we have. Because it's not until that we start making decisions as the person that we want to become that we start becoming that person and getting the results of that person. So for you, Chris, what decisions do you feel you need to start making so you can get these results? And they're gonna be like, well, I need to start making decisions as the person that I need to become. Okay, so if you need to start making decisions as the person that you want to become, what would that person do today, right now in this conversation? I'm not talking to Chris. Chris, we've already agreed that he wouldn't do it. But what would future you do in this situation? The person that has already achieved everything that you want to achieve, what would they do in this scenario? So now it's very hard for them to say, no, I wouldn't do it. And the reason is you have them into the mental trap. When they say no, they obviously reject their future. They're saying, no, I don't want to make decisions like the person that I want to become. So they're essentially rejecting what? The identity of the person that they want to become. Can you see how powerful that is? Now, the reason we do it in 4 waves is very simple. Because the more time goes on in a call and the more time passes, the more we will increase how assertive we are. And I'll tell you how it works. So when it comes to the money, we're pretty much at level 0. They give us the objection and they will say, oh, it's too expensive for me. We don't need to go ham on them. We need to be too harsh. We'll just talk about, okay, that's fine. I mean, I can understand it's too expensive. Besides the money, would you do it? We're keeping it very chill. That's wave number 1. Then we go through the motions and we start climbing the cost of inaction. And we're telling them, hey, Like, what do you feel you've been missing out on so far in terms of this? And now, let's say we are 2 minutes after that, we're gonna increase how assertive we are. Assertion, I mean with my tonality, with my stance, by how I'm able to empower their decision-making process. So the first one is, oh, besides the money, would you do this? Yes, I would. That's fine. Then I'm gonna ask them a little bit more assertion. So I will say, what do you feel has been costing you, Chris? Not fixing these issues for the past 3 months. Then we're gonna up the ante. Let's say 10 minutes in, we're gonna go into nightmare mode. And we're gonna ask them, Chris, I can understand it's a big decision, but what happens if you don't make a change, you stay exactly where you are right now for the next 2, 4, 6 months? Can you see how my tonality elevates? Can you see how I'm able to become more assertive, but without pushing them? I'm not pushing them to buy. I'm challenging them to become aware of what? Of their nightmare, of what will happen if they don't make a change. The final step is the identity, and this is where I really step things up. And this is, because if they don't make a change now, I'm gonna push them away. And this is what I will say towards the end. And this is my final line. This is when I've been trying to help them. We've gone through 3 different waves, and this is the last chance that I'm giving them to help them overcome themselves. So I'm gonna ask them, Chris, can I be 100% transparent with you? You will never going to get to where you want to go making decisions as the person you are today. Are you with me when I'm saying that? Okay. Are you open to receiving a piece of feedback from me without you getting upset? Okay. You will only get to where you want to go only when you start making decisions as the person you want to become. Are you that person today? No. So what do you feel you need to change so you can become that person? And that's how I'm motivating them to take on a new identity so they can start making decisions as that person. And if I do it the right way, I'm empowering them to make the best decision for themselves, invest, and create change. This has been Chris Rigoris. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to follow along and subscribe for more videos.